Scotland was formed from the fusion of several cultures, achieved great cultural, scientific, and industrial influence on a global scale. Since the decline of the Vikings, the history has been linked often violently to the northern England. Border disputes and incursions were commonplace until the shared monarchy first and the political union later unified the two countries. But even then, the Jacobite uprisings reflected the divisions between the two.
Scotland map. Geographically, Scotland is the northernmost of the four countries that form the United Kingdom, along with England and Wales. It is part of the island of Great Britain, northwest of the European continent, covering a third of its total area. It also consists of more than 719 islands. It limits to the north and west with the Atlantic Ocean, to the east with the North Sea, to the south with England. Its border measures around 96 kilometers between the River Tweed on the east coast and the Solway Firth on the west, and to the southwest with the North Channel and the Irish Sea. The Scottish territory covers 78,772 kilometers, and its population was estimated at 5,463,300 inhabitants in 2019, which gives a population desiring for 67.5 inhabitants per kilometer. The capital is Edinburgh, while Glasgow is the largest city and its metropolitan area accounts for 14% of the total Scottish population. The William Wallace National Monument is a monumental tower complete in 1869 and situated on the top of Mount Abergray, near Stirling, Scotland. It commemorates the figure of William Wallace, a 13th century Scottish soldier who fought against King Edward I of England in the War of Scottish Independence. Scotland takes its name from Scotus, a Latin term meaning Irish. This refers to the Gaelic city of Ireland, which the Romans in Italian called Scotia. The Irish who colonized present-day Scotland were known as Scots. The Romans of the early Middle Age used the name Caledonia to refer to present-day Scotland.
The government of Scotland have the Scottish head of the state is the British monarchy is the Queen of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. England has not been a separate sovereign state since 1707, but Scotland have a large list of presidents who have ruled over the years. The population of Scotland is 5.454 million of people in the year 2019. At the moment, we don't know actually what is the population. The official language is the English, the main language spoken in Scotland today and has been since the 18th century. However, there are a wide range of different languages, accents, and dialects spoken across the country. Now we're gonna know about National Anthem. The name of this is Flower of Scotland, but we have other bodies only on the use of royal occasions. The passport and the visa requirements for visitors to Scotland and UK including customs and duty limits. The culture have the flag, currency and a map. but also the culture has a monarchy, and that's all about Scotland government.
The authentic origin of the Scottish flag. It is recorded in the sources that in 1385, the Scottish Parliament decreed in the context of a campaign against England that combats should wear a small white cross of St. Andrew sewn on the front and back. Scottish currency value. It is the pound sterling. In Mexican pesos, it is 25.57. And the US, the dollar, is 1.50. The Scottish pound was the legal tender in the Kingdom of Scotland before its political and monetary union with the Kingdom of England in 1967.
Scotland. Typical food. Scottish breakfast. In the Scottish breakfast you will have eggs, meat, roast, beef, pudding and more short. All this with tea or coffee and toast with ham, but the usual thing is that this breakfast is also accompanied by Scottish porridge, a bowl of cereal, specifically oatmeal boiled in milk water with salt. It is a burial dessert and consists of several layers of toasted oatmeal or oat flakes, curly cheese, whipped cream flavored with whiskey, honey and fresh red berries. Curly cheese is typical of Scotland and many that, compared to Vikings, were the ones who introduced this type of cheese in Scotland in the 18th century. That's all about typical food of Scotland.
Clothing Scotland. The kilt, which is a skirt that is part of the traditional men's clothing, is nowadays used for special celebrations. Plaid is a fabric made of vertical and horizontal stripes in different shapes on a colored background. Kilt facts. Originally, it was a 5-meter piece of cloth worn around the waist. The rest of the cloth was draped over the shoulder. Why did they wear skirts? Scottish Highland soldiers used to wear these skirts because they allowed them to have more freedom of movement during combat, and also because these skirts protect them. Scottish skirts were adapted as clothing by the 16th century and represented the symbol of rebellion and prohibition. Women, like men, wear the tartans, each woman wearing a tartan corresponding to her clan or her husband's clan. They will wear it on belts, scarves or sashes, dresses, skirts, jackets, and anything else they can think of. For clothing, they are limited only by the fabric that is already made, when it is not made to measure.
Scotland Fun Facts. Scotland has a rich heritage of art and culture, and today traditional and contemporary. Celtic and diaspora have taken place in the country. Over the years, the composition of Scotland's population has changed, with new immigrants coming from different lands. Named the first city of literature, Edinburgh has been the place of inspiration for many writers, readers, poets, and artists. For this reason, Edinburgh has many museums and art galleries, as well as important festivals. National Galleries of Scotland are in charge of managing the 4 main galleries. In Edinburgh, admission is free for permanent exhibition. A costume of Scotland is the Highland Games. It is a series of traditional sports by Scottish Highland, which are held in this region and in North America. The national sport of Scotland
Scotland is the rugby. The rugby consists into two teams made of 15 players, each one on a field similar in size to a football field. The Scotland national football team represents Scotland in men's international football and is controlled by the Scottish Football Association. Scotland is the joint oldest national football team in the world, alongside England, when they played in the world's first international football match in 1872. Scotland has a long-standing rivalry with England, when they played annually from 1872 until 1989. The teams have met only 8 times, most recently in a group match during Euro 2020 in June 2021. Some of the touristic places that you can visit in Scotland is the Donator Castle. The Donator Castle played an important role in the history of Scotland during the Middle Age and until the Enlightenment, to its strategic position controlling the shipping routes to the north of Scotland. The Edinburgh Botanic Garden. It is a botanic garden of 28 hectares of extension. It is both a scientific institution and a touristic attraction. Did you know that when we talk about brownies, we're not referring to those delicious chocolate cupcakes that we like so much? On this occasion, we refer to a Scottish mythological figure with a long history. Brownies are magical beings similar to the Irish leprechauns, who live hidden and away from human gaze in the streams and mountains of Scotland. Many countries have an iconic animal, but no one that we know can compete with the Scottish mythical beast. This horse-like creature is often described with a long horn and presumed to have the ability to cover this size.
This is all about Scotland. We hope you like it.
Ireland is an isle located in the northwestern continental Europe and is surrounded by hundreds of smaller isles. It's the third largest island in Europe and the 20th largest in the world. It's formed by two countries, Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. If you want to keep learning about Ireland, join us in this video.
Invasion of Ireland. The island of Ireland has been politically divided in two states since the signing of Anglo-Irish Treaty signed on December 6, 1921, which simultaneously recognized the existence of the new Irish Free State, and in turn the capacity of Northern Ireland to decide not to join that state. The Anglo-Norman invasion of Ireland took place in the late 12th century when the Anglo-Normans gradually conquered and acquired large tracts of land from the Irish, over which the Kingdom of Ireland claimed suzerainty. At this time, Gaelic Ireland was made up of the several kingdoms, with one high king claiming overlordship over most other kings. The Norman invasion marked a watershed in the Irish history, ushering in more than 800 years of direct English and later British involvement in Ireland.
Ireland is the second largest island of the British Isles, the third largest in Europe and the 20th largest on Air Islands. The Republic of Ireland, local name Poblačna Ireland, is a state in Western Europe, occupying 5/6 of the islands of Ireland in the North Atlantic. West of the island of Great Britain, it is bordered by the United Kingdom to the north, the Irish Sea to the east, and the North Atlantic to the west. The ocean is responsible for the jagged western coastline along with the many islands, peninsulas and bays.
Is one of the four constituent countries of the United Kingdom located in the northeast of the island of Ireland. It is bordered to the south and west by the Republic of Ireland, to the north by the Northern Channel and the east by
Culture. Irish culture has been primarily Gaelic. It has also been influenced by Anglo-Norman English and Scottish culture. Christianity, in the form of both Roman Catholicism and Protestantism, is the most widely practiced religion. The celebration has been estimated to figure to a large degree in Irish folklore.
National Anthem. There is no official anthem which represents only Northern Ireland, a constituent country of the United Kingdom. Two pieces of music are used to represent Northern Ireland in a sporting context. Londonderry is playing at the anthem of Northern Ireland.
English is the most spoken language in Northern Ireland. There are also two recognized regional languages, the Irish and the local variety of Scots English. It is spoken as first language by most of Northern Ireland population. It's the fact of official language.
The current population of Ireland is 5,039,445 as of Wednesday, May 11, 2022. Ireland population has risen above 5 million for the first time since 1851. Figures released by the Central Statistics Office (CSO) on Tuesday show how the combination of positive net migration and natural increase gave the population grow up 34,000 in the year to April 2021 to push the population to an estimated 5.1 million. CSO projections estimate that the population in the Republic could hit around 6 million by 2046, so a 10 million figure is possible, but not probable, even that the projection is in a scenario where Ireland's fertility rate is high.
There are different levels of government in Northern Ireland. This includes your local council, the Northern Ireland Assembly, and the UK Parliament at Westminster. Politicians working at different levels will have different roles and responsibilities.
Visa and passport. If you want to come to Northern Ireland to visit, study, or work, you may need to apply for a visa through United Kingdom Visa and Immigration (UKVI).
The flag was designed in Dublin by Neville Rodwell Dickinson, King of the Arms of Ulster, and was inspired by the traditional flag of Ulster, with the red hand and the Ulsters, Gaelic lamb there held in the center of, and the red cross of the Ulster Vicar's house. The national flag of Ireland is the national flag of the Republic. It is a tricolor flag composed of the three vertical strips of equal dimension, green, white, and orange. Presented as a gift in 1848 by Thomas Francis Meagher, it was not until the Easter Rising of 1916, when it was raised above the General Office of Dublin Post Office, that the tricolor came to be regarded as the national flag of the Republic. The pound of sterling refers to the national currency of the Isles of Man, the United Kingdom, South Sandwich Island, Gibraltar, South Georgia, and the British Antarctic Territory. It is the oldest currency to be constant use. It is also known as the sterling of pound and abbreviated as GBP.
Well, for the food we should present a traditional dish, a dessert, and a drink that is taken when these special celebrations.
In England, the most common fish to serve fish and chips is cod, but there are many fish substitutes, especially white fish such as haddock, sugar apple, flounder, and rock salmon. In the north of England and Scotland, sugar apple is eaten preferably.
Most of the drinks have alcohol, but the most popular is liquor.
The mantle, a display of wealth. Records of traditional Irish clothing become much there from around the 13th century onwards. Mantles, which were coats made of wool cloth, became popular around this time. Peasants would wear mantles comprised of small scraps of cloth sewn together. Meanwhile, nobility would afford mantles from one single long piece of cloth. On the other hand, the nobility would wear long fringed cloaks known as brats or brata in varying colors. Freemen could wear 4 and kings could wear as many as they chose.
Thanks to Norse influence, the Inar grew in popularity as these people settled along Ireland's coasts. Another item that was commonly worn was a jacket called an Inar. Plaited at the breast or the waist, Inars had split sleeves and were often intricately decorated.
It may surprise you to discover that very little is known about traditional Irish clothing, particularly before the 12th century. Historians widely believe that Ireland's early inhabitants wore wool clothing. This was indicated by the discovery of the Moy Bog gown in 1931. Researchers believe it dated back to the early 13th. The Moy Bog gown was a fragment of a dress discovered on a decomposed body in the Moy Bog of County Clare.
In present times, Irish dancers are the best example to witness the traditional clothing of Ireland. In the early 18th, female dancers wore ordinary peasants' dresses often embellished with ribbons formed into flowers or crosses. The crimson homespun skirt reached till the ankles worn with a simple black bodice. From the late 18th onwards, pipers wore the kilt, and from about 1810, male dancers began to wear this form of costume. And this is all about traditional clothing.
Did you know that 1. Ireland is known as the Emerald Island, and yes, you can imagine it is thanks to its beautiful and green landscapes. 2. In 1922, it became independent from the United Kingdom and became a republic in 1949. 3. In Irish euro coin, the famous selected as symbol of Ireland appeared. 4. St. Patrick's Day, or patron saint of Ireland, celebrated on March. It is country's national day. 5. All signs are in Gaelic and English, but Gaelic always comes first. 6. In Ireland, they drive on the left leg, the English. They measure distance in kilometers and not in miles. 7. One of the most curious and beautiful things in Ireland are the shops with the shop window and the wooden sinks and the typical Irish typography. 8. The soccer fields of the town also are of rugby. 9. In Ireland, in addition to football, they are also fans of the sport. 10. Bathing is prohibited on most of the beach because they are dangerous. 11. Some highways with large shoulders lowers vehicles put on the shoulder to let others pass. 12. The police are called Gurai, and that's what they put on their cars. 13. Roadside restaurants usually open non-stop from 11 to 8 p.m. 14. There are elections posters with faces of everywhere, and they are curious things is that he give much more importance to the face of the candidate than to the party to which they belongs. 15. One of the things that then catch your attention is that we would not find any you have yet in Ireland or Northern Ireland, saying when crossing the border between Ireland and Northern Ireland when it is a different country.
Hope you learned just as much as we did with this video. And please make sure to like the video if you loved it, because we did our best in the making of this video. Also, thanks to all our classmates for their research, and see you soon!